Dear students, we are going to discuss a very interesting topic today, that is on multiculturalism and tolerance. I have divided this lecture into two parts. The first part will be on multiculturalism and the second part will be on tolerance. The first part will consist of what is multiculturalism, then theories of multiculturalism, then difference between pluralism and multiculturalism, and then differences between multicultural and intercultural, and the last part, the Canadian model of multiculturalism. Okay, now what is multiculturalism? Multiculturalism is the coexistence of diverse cultures, where culture includes racial, religious, or cultural groups and is manifested in customary behaviors, cultural assumptions, and values, patterns of thinking, and communicative styles. People in a multicultural community retain, celebrate, pass down, and share their unique cultural ways of life, traditions, behavior, languages, and art. The concept of multiculturalism can describe an area with a mixed ethnic community where multiple cultural groups and traditions exist. Multiculturalism is closely associated with identity politics, the politics of difference, and the politics of recognition, all of which share a commitment to revaluing disrespected identities and changing dominant patterns of representation and communication that marginalize certain groups. And also, multiculturalism represents a set of values and beliefs where people live alongside one another, promoting values like tolerance and support. This is given by Taylor. As Oxford English Dictionary states, multiculturalism is the characteristics of a multicultural society and a policy or process whereby the distinctive identities of the cultural groups within such a society are maintained or supported. Distinctive identities means that every section, every community has a separate or distinct characteristics and distinct traditions, distinct habitats, and different their values, their norms, and that's why that has to be maintained. That distinct identity has to be maintained. Now we'll move to theories on multiculturalism. Two major theories, one is melting pot and the other is salad bowl. Salad bowl, this model describes a heterogeneous society where people coexist but retain at least some unique characteristics of their traditional culture. In this model, different cultures are brought together like ingredients in a salad, but these individual cultures retain their own flavors instead of merging into a single homogeneous culture. And the other one is melting pot. This model proposes that various immigrant groups will tend to melt together, deserting their individual cultures and ultimately becoming fully assimilated into the predominant society. There are two models. One is melting pot, the other is salad bowl. And now we'll move to difference between pluralism and multiculturalism. The main difference between multiculturalism and pluralism is that multiculturalism does not have a dominant culture, but pluralism has a dominant culture. Both multiculturalism and pluralism are phenomena of cultural diversity. Multiculturalism refers to the coexistence of diverse religious, ethnic, or cultural groups within a society. In contrast, cultural pluralism refers to a phenomenon where minority groups participate fully in the dominant society, but while maintaining their cultural differences. And there are differences between multicultural and intercultural. Two things, multicultural and the other is intercultural. Multicultural means refers to society that contains several cultural or ethnic groups. People live alongside one another, but each cultural group does not necessarily have engaging interactions with each other. For example, in a multicultural neighborhood, people may frequent ethnic grocery stores and restaurants without really interacting with their neighbors from other countries. And on the other hand, intercultural describes communities in which there is a deep understanding and respect for all cultures. Intercultural communication focuses on the mutual exchange of ideas and cultural norms and the development of deep relationships. In an intercultural society, no one is left unchanged because everyone learns from one another and grows together. Now we'll move to the last part of our today's lecture, That is the Canadian model of multiculturalism. In 1998, Canadian Multiculturalism Act affirms the policy of the government to ensure that every Canadian receives equal treatment by the government, which respects and celebrates diversity. The Act in general recognizes, first of all, Canada's multicultural heritage and that heritage must be protected. Secondly, the rights of indigenous peoples. Thirdly, English and French remain the only official languages, however, other languages may be used. Fourthly, social equality within society and under the law, regardless of race, color, ancestry, national or ethnic origin, creed, or religion. And fifthly, minorities' rights to enjoy their cultures. Canadian model of multiculturalism is a classic example of multiculturalism. And that is for today. I hope you have understood the meaning of multiculturalism. There are different theories of multiculturalism. And in the next class, we will discuss about multiculturalism and tolerance. Thank you so much, students.